Good morning, students. Yesterday we have learned about the significant figures and certain arithmetic operations for significant figures. Yesterday I have misquoted. It is a slip of tongue. I told any number which is expressed in terms of a into 10 to the power of b in terms of powers of 10 is called as scientific notation. Please correct it. It is scientific notation, not significant figure. That is the correction I wanted to do it. So please read it as any number which is expressed in the form of a into 10 to the power of b is known as scientific notation, where a is a number and b is the exponent. B can be a negative exponent or a positive exponent. B can be any negative number or positive number. Similarly A. So that is called as scientific notation. Okay. Today we will learn about dimensions of physical quantities. You know that there are several physical quantities which are termed as fundamental quantities and derived quantities. There are 7 fundamental quantities. These 7 fundamental quantities have got their own dimensions. 7 fundamental quantities, as you know, they are also called as base physical quantities. Base physical quantities. Or fundamental quantities. One is length, second one is mass, the third one is time, fourth one is electric current, fifth one is temperature, thermodynamic temperature, and sixth one is amount of substance. And luminous intensity. And by proper combination of these base quantities, we get derived physical quantities. Derived physical quantities. And these derived physical quantities can be expressed in terms of base physical quantities by their proper combination. And what is the meaning of dimensions here? See, the length is having dimension of L. So it is written as a square bracket L. The length may be path length, it may be distance covered, it may be displacement. Okay. So this is length. It may be breadth, it may be height, it may be length. So in general, it is having a dimension of length that is denoted by square bracket capital L. Then mass, square bracket capital M. Time, square bracket capital T. So these are called as dimensions. These are the dimensions of base quantities. Electric current, you know, ampere is the SI unit of electric current, so capital A. And temperature, Kelvin is the SI unit of temperature, so it is written as dimension with K. So temperature has dimension, that is written as square bracket K. Amount of substance, mole, square bracket MOL. Luminous intensity, candela, CD. So these are all the dimensions. You know, length is measured in meter, mass is measured in kilogram, time is measured in second. These are the base units ampere, temperature in Kelvin, amount of substance in mole. Mole is having short form of MOL, and luminous intensity is measured in candela, that is having short form C. So we have already learned this. So expressing any physical quantity, any derived physical quantity in terms of these base quantities is what is known as dimension. For example, dimension of breadth. Dimension of breadth is that of length. So it will be having square bracket L. So dimension of area. Dimension of area is having length into breadth. So length dimension is L and breadth dimension is also L. So it becomes L square. Dimension of volume. See, volume, area, these are all derived physical quantities. First, I will write area. Area is expressed as length into breadth. So it is having dimension of length and dimension of breadth. So I will write it as dimension of L square. So this is how we write dimensions of a physical quantity. L square, square bracket is a must, and L should be capital L. Whether it is area of a rectangle, area of a square, area of a circle, any surface area, it is having a dimension of square of L. Meter square is expressed in meter square. Now next, volume. Volume is expressed as cube of L, if it is a cube, or if it is a cuboid, L be H, L into B into H. So dimension of L is capital L, dimension of breadth is also capital L, dimension of height is also capital L. So it is written as L cube in the square bracket. Next, using this volume and mass, see here, we can obtain dimension of density, dimension of mass density. Mass density dimension is obtained by dimension of mass and dimension of volume. And you see dimension of mass being the base quantity, I can write it as capital M with square bracket, and dimension of volume is capital L cube in the denominator. So thus it becomes M L cube square bracket. It doesn't have any dimension of time, so we can write t raised to 0. So like this, we will have so many dimensions. See, speed or velocity, both have same unit, SI unit, meter per second. So both are measured as a distance covered or displacement divided by time taken. So it has a dimension of distance, it has a dimension of time. Dimension of distance is L, dimension of time is capital T. You see, dimension of time is capital T. So thus it becomes dimension of velocity as L t raised to minus 1. You have to take the numerator and express it as L t raised to minus 1 under square bracket, so that it will have a unit meter per second. In CGS unit it becomes centimeter per second. So like that we will be able to find out its respective unit in different system of units by the help of these expressions called as dimensions. Similarly, acceleration. Acceleration can be written as velocity by time. So it has dimension of velocity and dimension of time. Dimension of velocity v divided by dimension of time. Velocity dimension just now we got L t raised to minus 1, and take this t to the numerator, it becomes t raised to minus 1. So the total dimension of acceleration becomes L t raised to minus 2. So that its SI unit becomes meter per second square. Similarly, I can write another divided unit, that is force. Force can be written as mass into acceleration. Mass into acceleration. So you can write the dimension of mass and dimension of acceleration and calculate. Dimension of mass, capital L. Dimension of acceleration, just now we found out, Lt raised to minus 2. So total dimension of force in terms of base physical quantities is expressed as m L T raised to minus 2. What does it mean? Dimension of force means it is having the mechanical units like dimension of mass, kilogram, dimension of length, meter, dimension of time, second, kg meter per second square. Kg meter per second square is the SI unit of force and which is also equal to 1 Newton. So 1 Newton has a dimension of 1 kg, 1 meter per second square. So this we can write even in the other units. If it is in gram, then we can write it as centimeter, gram, centimeter per second square. That becomes the CGS unit of force. So that's how we will be able to write the dimensions of any derived physical quantity. Now, for example, work done. Work done is having this dimension of force into displacement, which is also having the same. That is, energy also has the same dimension. Ability of doing work is called energy. So this can be expressed as dimension of force multiplied by dimension of displacement. As I said, the displacement has dimension of length and force already we have found out m L T raised to minus 2. So we get m L T raised to minus 2 dimension of force into dimension of displacement. Dimension of displacement is L. So thus we get m L square T raised to minus 2. This becomes the dimension of work. So like this you can go on listing all those known derived physical quantities and find out their dimensions. Pressure, for example, using the force and area, we can find out the dimensions of pressure. Pressure is force per unit area. Force per unit area. So it is having dimension of force and dimension of area. Dimension of force already we got m L T raised to minus 2. M L T raised to minus 2 divided by dimension of area L square. Thus it becomes m, take this 2 to the numerator, it becomes L raised to minus 2. So L raised to minus 2 plus 1 becomes minus 1 T raised to minus 2. So this becomes the dimension of pressure, the dimensions of pressure. So pressure, you know, SI unit of pressure is Pascal. 1 Pascal is equal to 1 Newton per meter square. So 1 Newton dimensions we have kg meter per second square, kg meter per second square divided by meter square. So thus it becomes kg per meter per second square, kg per meter per second square. So this becomes the expression of a physical quantity in terms of dimensions of base quantities. This is called as dimensions of a particular physical quantity. So in general, now you can write what is the meaning of dimensions. So a dimension of a physical quantity are the powers or the exponents to which the base quantities are raised to represent the physical quantity. Okay, now you can write what are the dimensions of a physical quantity. So now we can define dimensions of quantity are the powers. It is expressed as the powers to which the physical quantities are raised. The physical quantities are raised. Dimensions of a physical quantity are the powers to which the physical quantities are raised. The powers to which the physical quantities are raised. The powers to which the physical quantities are raised to represent the physical quantity. The powers to which the base quantities are raised. Base quantities are raised to represent the physical quantity. So this is how we define what is dimension. Are the powers to which the base quantities are raised to represent the physical quantity. You can just look at this. These are all the derived physical quantities, and these are all expressed in terms of the base quantities. The base quantities basically in mechanical units, in the mechanics especially, we learn this speed, acceleration, force, density, work, energy, power, pressure. So these are all the mechanical physical quantities that we come across in mechanics. So basically these physical quantities in mechanics are expressed in terms of base units and base physical quantities and their dimensions. L, M, T. You can see here. L, M, T. So L raised to 2. It means dimension of mass here is 0. And dimension of time here is 0. So when such derived physical quantities are expressed, especially in mechanics, the derived physical quantities are expressed in terms of dimensions of length, mass and time, and that becomes the dimensions of a physical quantity in mechanics. Okay. Now we learn dimensional formulae and dimensional equations. Now let us learn the dimensional formulae and dimensional equations. Dimensional formulae and dimensional equations. The expression which shows how and which of the base quantities, the expression which shows how and which the base quantities represent the dimensions of a physical quantity is called as dimensional formula. For example, let us take mass density. Mass density has dimensions of mass and dimensions of volume. Just now I have written. Usually it is expressed in terms of dimension of mass, dimension of length and dimension of time. So it doesn't have any dimension of time. So dimension of time becomes 0. So it can be written as dimension of mass m and dimension of volume. It is L to the power 3 in the denominator, so it becomes L to the power minus 3, and dimension of time is 0. So this becomes the dimensional formula of mass density. Dimensional formula of mass density. Similarly, dimensional formula of acceleration. Dimensional formula of acceleration becomes, you see, it is dimension of velocity and dimension of time. Dimension of velocity and dimension of time. It has got dimension of time. Velocity, it is L t raised to minus 2. Just now we got velocity L t raised to minus 2 into dimension of time is there again L t raised to minus 1. Okay, dimension of time is there in the denominator. It becomes L t raised to minus 1 again. So it becomes L t raised to minus 2. And dimensional formula of force, that of product of mass and product of acceleration. Just now we have written. So same thing it is expressed in terms of dimension of mass, dimension of time and dimension of length. So here dimension of mass in case of acceleration, dimension of mass is 0. So I can write it as m raised to 0, L t raised to minus 2. This becomes the dimension of acceleration, and this square bracket is a must. The square bracket should be written, then only it is the meaning of dimension. Now dimension of mass, m, dimension of acceleration, L t raised to minus 2. Means the dimensional formula of force is m raised to 1, L raised to 1, t raised to minus 2. So this is how we write the dimensional formula. Then what is the meaning of dimensional equation? Same thing we write in terms of their notation. So these are all dimensional formula. These are all dimensional formulae. If the same things are written in terms of their equations, for example, see, mass density is denoted by rho. Rho is the notation. So dimension of rho is equal to, so m L raised to minus 3 e raised to 0. So this becomes the dimensional equation for density. Dimensional equation of density. Similarly, what is the dimensional equation of acceleration? Small a is the notation for acceleration. So if you write small a with square bracket, it means dimensions of a as m raised to 0, L raised to 1, t raised to minus 2. This becomes the dimensional equation of acceleration. And dimensional equation of force, capital F. So on the left hand side you can see all the dimensions of that particular derived physical quantity. That is expressed in terms of its base physical quantity raised with a certain exponent, raised to the power. So we got m L t raised to minus 2 kg meter per second square in terms of SI unit. So this becomes the dimensional equation of force. So in this way, by the knowledge of the dimensions and their base physical quantities, we can write the dimensional equations for any given derived physical quantity. So that expression becomes dimensional equation. Now we will learn what is the applications of this dimensional formula, dimensional equations. Now the question arises, what is the use of learning dimensions and the applications of dimensions? Let us see the dimensional analysis and its applications. Thorough dimensional analysis of a physical quantity and the dimensional equations of a physical quantity help us in deducing certain relationships among different physical quantities. You will come across different physical quantities, and certain physical quantities will be having same dimensions. For example, momentum. Momentum is mass into velocity. So mass into velocity has a dimension of m L t raised to minus 1. Similarly, we will learn another quantity which is called as Impulse. Impulse is calculated as force acting for a short duration of time. Force into time duration, F into t gives us the impulse. So when you calculate the dimensions of momentum and dimensions of impulse, remember momentum and impulse. Momentum is also a derived physical quantity. Impulse is also another derived physical quantity. When you check their dimensions, see dimension of momentum. Dimension of momentum calculated as dimension of t. T is the notation for momentum. So it has dimension of mass, that is m, dimension of velocity, that is l t raised to minus 1. This is dimension of momentum. And just giving you example how one can reduce certain relationships among different physical quantities. Another one you can see impulse. Dimension of impulse, if you write, it is having force multiplied by time. The product of force and time gives us impulse. You see force, dimension of force, I have just now written ml t raised to minus 2 kg meter per second square, that is equal to 1 Newton kg meter per second square. And dimension of time t, it is t raised to 1. So if you check this, L t raised to minus 2, t raised to 1, again it becomes ml t raised to minus 1. So this, when you look at this dimension of momentum and dimension of impulse, both are same, then we can get an idea there must be some relation between this impulse and momentum. So the dimensional analysis helps us in deducing certain relationships among the different physical quantities. This is one example. Like that you will come across various physical quantities wherein you will be able to relate the different physical quantities with the help of their dimensions. Okay, second thing is checking the derivation, accuracy and dimensional consistency of various mathematical expressions. When we derive certain equation, whether that equation is correct or not, so that can be verified with the help of dimensional equations, dimensional analysis. That's what we call it as dimensional analysis. The checking of derivation and accuracy of that final result can be verified with the help of the dimensions. For example, if we derive the equation for kinetic energy, we know kinetic energy is half mv square. So it should have dimension of energy. The dimension of energy is same as dimension of work done. L square t raised to minus 2. So when we get that equation half mv square, when you verify that dimensions of half mv square, you must get the dimension of energy L square t raised to minus 2. Then only that derived equation is correct. That's how we can check the accuracy of the derived equation and also the dimensional consistency of various mathematical expressions. So this is very important. These are the two important applications of this dimensional analysis. Now one more thing you please remember, whenever we are coming across product of different physical quantities, so we will be getting the product of their respective SI units. When you calculate the product of their respective SI units, the product may be raised to the power, or it may be it can be cancelled, just like the algebraic product, the algebraic multiplication and algebraic division. So this is how it helps us in finding the consistency of various mathematical expressions. We can check this with the help of one equation. For example, we know that second equation of motion, we have S equal to ut plus half at square. So here comes the product of speed and time and product of acceleration and the square of time. So whether this equation is dimensionally correct or not. If the equation is dimensionally correct, then this equation is correct equation or consistent equation. dimension of displacement is L. So this is dimension of displacement. L. And let us see dimension of RHS. Dimension of RHS, that is dimension of right hand side. So if you check this, it comes out with dimension of speed L t raised to -1 into dimension of time t plus, you leave out half is a number. Whenever there are constants, you have to leave those constants such as numerical values. Whereas A and T are not constants, they are physical quantities. Dimension of acceleration L t raised to -2 and dimension of square of time. Square of time is t square. So when you check this, it comes out to be L t raised to -1 and L t raised to +1. T raised to -1, t raised to +1 becomes t raised to 0. Here also you see L t raised to 0. So this comes out to be 2 times L t raised to 0. So 2 doesn't have any meaning. So it is having dimension of L t raised to 0. That is RHS is also having dimension of L. So LHS is also having dimension of L. RHS is also having dimension of L. That's how this given equation is consistent. So like that, you can test the consistency of conservation of energy. If mgh is the potential energy at certain height, when an object is raised to certain height, its potential energy at that height is mgh. When it is released before touching the ground, suppose it is having the complete energy in the form of kinetic energy, half mv square. You can test the consistency of this. I am giving you as an exercise. Write the dimension of mass, dimension of acceleration due to gravity, dimension of height as dimension of LHS. And you have to prove that dimension of LHS is equal to dimension of RHS. Prove that dimension of LHS is equal to dimension of RHS. When you prove that dimension of LHS is equal to dimension of RHS, then the equation of conservation of energy is correct. That's how we test the consistency of various mathematical expressions. So these are the applications. Now remember, whenever you are adding or subtracting, you can add or subtract the physical quantities having the same units, same dimensions. Physical quantities of different units and different dimensions cannot be added, cannot be subtracted. Whereas you can multiply physical quantities of different units. You can multiply velocity with time, you can multiply acceleration with time. That gives us different physical quantity. Whereas when you are adding or subtracting, you must add those physical quantities having the same units. Physical quantities having different units cannot be added. This is called principle of homogeneity. This is called principle of homogeneity. What is this principle of homogeneity? Physical quantities having the same units, physical quantities having the same dimensions can be added or subtracted. Physical quantities with different dimensions cannot be added, cannot be subtracted. This is a very important, significant principle of homogeneity. That tells us we cannot add height with mass, we cannot add mass with temperature, we cannot add temperature with current. That is meaningless. So that is the meaning of principle of homogeneity. So tomorrow we shall learn more and more examples and conclude this topic. Thank you. Have a nice day.